Right, Fuji X-H2. Now that I have the Sigma 56mm f1.4 lens, so I have a more of a telephoto lens with a wide aperture, so it'd be easier to see when I'm in and out of focus. Like right now, obviously the background is really blown out. I have no neutral density filter on the lens, so the shutter speed's going to be higher, much higher than it should be for proper video recording. But this is 4K 60, and I believe it's like 200 megabits per second is what I have it set to. And what else? Excuse me, the tracking, the autofocus is set to the fastest speeds, so it'll change more quickly when I go in and out of the frame. And face and eye detect is turned on. Like right now I can see, just looking at the screen as it's flipped around, I can see the focus point of my eyes. So I'm going to walk further away and try to do this as quick as I can. But I just want to see how this looks again, doing something like this with a wide aperture lens, you know, more of a telephoto lens, and compared to just doing it with a 16-80, which is all I had before. So anyway, and the 56 from Sigma, by the way, it's really an outstanding lens. I'm much more impressed than I thought I would be. So so far I have no complaints at all and no regrets buying it. Eventually I probably will get the Sigma or the Fuji, the new 56mm, the weather resistant version, the brand new version. But I think what I want to get first is the 33mm f1.4 from Fuji. So anyway, let's start this. I'm just going to go in and out of frame. I'll turn around and walk further back, and I'll keep facing the camera and walk further back. And again, the exposure is just doing whatever it wants. I've got the lens set to f1.4, and again, just kind of letting the camera do what it wants. And this is Nostalgic Neg for the film simulation. So once I get far enough back, I won't really be able to see myself where I am in the frame, but I'll just kind of try to keep an eye on the camera. So let's see here. Again, I can't really tell if I'm in focus or not. I'm just gonna go in and out of frame. I'm probably 15 feet or so from the camera right now. Hopefully you'll see some of these leaves falling. There you go. See the leaves? It's from this row of large oak trees. So again, I have zero complaints about the autofocus on this camera, Fujifilm X-H2. And I like it so much that I've actually quit using single point autofocus and AFS. So what I use now for still photos, I use continuous autofocus, so AFC, and tracking. So I'll just put the tracking point on a leaf or whatever I'm shooting, and just recompose and let the camera keep the focus on that, even for like stationary subjects. That works out really well. I mean, it's fast, it's accurate, and I've had no trouble at all with it. So I'm going to keep using that. So let's try to go in and out of frame here a little bit farther away. And again, I can't really tell, being this far away, what it's doing, whether I'm in focus or not. Probably am. I'm using the Fuji app to start and stop the recording. You may have heard me before in one of my other videos. You can't use the Fuji app live streaming and start and stop and just monitor it on the app, because if you do that, it'll drop your resolution down to 1080. So I wish there was a way that they could transmit video, you know, through Wi-Fi like it would to the phone at a lower resolution and let you shoot 4K or 8K, whatever you want, on the camera. But the way it is now, I just had to use the Bluetooth trigger on the phone to start and stop the recording, because it, you know, like I said, it's just going to dumb it down to 1080 if you try to live stream it to the app. And as I'm walking around and doing this and looking silly, I'll just tell you that I've been really impressed and really happy with the X-H2. Much happier and much more impressed than I thought it would be. Don't know if I thought I would be impressed from the beginning, but I am impressed. It's been a really great camera. You know, I love the body, I love the shutter sound, the shutter sound's really quiet. The mechanical shutter sounds great. And let me just go farther back here. So yeah, the shutter, the buttons and dials that it does have, you know, people like the XT line for the shutter speed dial and all that kind of stuff, but I don't really use that. I like to shoot an aperture priority and use the front dial for aperture changes and the rear dial for exposure compensation. And depending on the situation, like if I'll be leaving here in a couple days, by the way, to go to the Smoky Mountains down in Tennessee and North Carolina. So I'll be getting a lot of pictures down there. Entertainment, mountains, beautiful streams, all kinds of stuff. And I have some TT Artisan manual lenses that I'll be trying to get some shots down there with that also, but I don't do manual focus very often, so don't know how often I'll pull those out, but I'll definitely try to get some photos from those. But I would normally just kind of go into spot metering if I'm doing a photo shoot, you know, and again, this is just a hobby, in some kind of entertainment venue. Like I'll be going to see fake Elvis, fake Michael Jackson, who else do they have? Fake Conway Twitty, I believe. A bunch of fakers, you know, the impersonators. Kind of fun though, you know, at least it's a good photo opportunity. So yeah, I mean, every time that I'm close enough that I see this, I mean, it's just, boom, it's right in focus right away. Let me turn my back and come into frame and see what that does. And again, this type of autofocus I wouldn't really need much unless I'm just doing a little video like this. So I just stand still somewhere, and normally I would just be doing a talk where I'm just mostly standing still, and you know, maybe some review of some other product that I bought. So I probably will be using the X-H2 for future videos, for anything that I need to talk about, because I do love the video quality on this. Again, this is just the 4K 60. You can only do 4K HQ, which is the oversampled 4K. You can only do that up to 30 frames a second. So I wanted to do this in 60 frames because thought maybe the autofocus would be a little better. But honestly, when I did it in 4K, I believe it was 4K HQ 24 frames a second or 23.98, it was just as good. No problems. Yeah, I guess that's good enough. I think that's plenty there. But again, if you like this lens, and hopefully the exposure looks good enough, again, I just let the exposure do what it wants. But again, this is the 56 millimeter f1.4 lens from Sigma. Get a little bit closer. Let's see how close I can get and still say it's in focus. Still says I'm in focus. It's actually got the same minimum focus distance as the Fuji 56 millimeter, the new one. I'm almost arm's length. I'm 5'8" tall. See, here's my hand, and I can almost touch the lens. Actually, I don't think I'm in focus really. It says it's got a white box on my eye, but it's not green, so I think it's hard to see. You know, I can't see the screen that well, but I'm sure it's in focus. Like right now, I think this is, was it like 1.6 meters, or I can't remember exactly. I'd have to check it out, maybe 1.5 feet or so. But that's from the sensor. So from the end of the lens, as you're out photographing in the real world, it's actually a really good close focus distance for an 85 millimeter equivalent. All right, I'm going to stop with that, and hopefully somehow this was helpful. Nothing else that shows you what Nostalgic Neg, Fuji X-H2, and a Sigma 56 millimeter f1.4 lens looks like, all combined together with some falling leaves. And again, this is, what is this? This is the Godox microphone I'm using again. Little wireless mic. It's kind of like the Rode Wireless Go or something. Kind of the same form factor, but it's been a really nice product too. Works great. All right, thanks for watching. Thought I'd let you watch a little more of the leaves falling since we have a little breeze here.